There you are. Welcome back. That is right. Simplify3D version 5. It's real. And I have it. Just really quickly, I want you to know this is like a throwback. This is like what I did long ago. It's late at night, the family's asleep, and I'm slamming caffeine to get a video done. Cheers. Simplify3D version 5. It's been the version that's been talked about for, I believe, years at this point. It was almost considered vaporware, and it was the butt of jokes online for the longest time. I was given a copy a week ago ish, and I've had a chance to play with it, and I want to show it to you so that you can see it. Here it is. This is Simplify3D version 5. No joke. Here, let's see it. Scope to help and about 5.0. This is it. When I first opened this, when they first sent it to me, it looked incredibly familiar. I thought there would be a more drastic change for the amount of time it took to get to us, but I think a lot of the changes happened under the hood. So I think what we need to do is dive in. They did send over this PDF for me to read through that kind of showed a lot of the new stuff that was going in. So adaptive layer height, different infill patterns, automatic seam hiding, dynamic infill density, and supercharged supports. You can do rapid editing with supports, which is kind of cool. There's build previews. There's some other stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to go over everything that's in this document, but what we're going to do is just cover some of the main stuff. These 4 things right here and supports. So first, let's dive in to adaptive layer height. So as you can see, I've got Simplify3D loaded here. I've got a Benchy on my Maker Gear M3. We'll talk about why it's the M3 here a little bit later. But first, adaptive infill. So that's where infill grows in height or shrinks in height in order to preserve detail. Because if you just have 0.2 or 0.3 millimeter layer height, you get stair stepping on geometry that kind of goes this way or that way. So let's first slice the Benchy with normal everyday layers, 0.2. They're all uniform. They all look the same. You've seen this, I mean, a zillion times already. So that is a 3D Benchy, and that is with uniform regular layers right there. See how there's that stair stepping right up on the bow of the boat? Okay, so now what we can do is dive into the process, go over to layer, and right down here, enable adaptive layer height. It does say you can go as low as 0.1 and you can go as high as 0.3, and there's 5 iterations between those. Let's give it a try. So this is enabled. Now remember, I couldn't tell it where to do it. It's just automatic in finding it. So now prepare to print. There's the big button. Now have a look. There's less of a stair step here because it shrunk the layers in that section. In fact, it's really apparent right here. You can see that the layers are kind of fatter right there, and as they get it here, in order to preserve the detail right here, they're going to shrink down a little bit. So it looks like adaptive layer height is something that the slicing engine in Simplify3D version 5 takes into account and doesn't allow the user to really change anything, but that's interesting to see. Let's just take a look back again. Yep, it's just right here. 3D infill patterns. Okay, so in the number of years that Simplify3D was in development of version 5, it looks like they were able to acquire some different infill patterns. What's there by default? Oh, well, there's aligned rectilinear grid. I mean, look at all these. Gyroid, cubic. There it is. Let's go to gyroid. Let's slice up this Benchy. And let's take a look. There's that familiar gyroid. Look at that. Looks like gyroid to me. Okay, but if we go back and we change it to something, say, octahedral, and then slice it up. Oh, that's fun. Okay, one more. Let's take a look at aligned. I don't know what aligned is, but let's take a look. Oh, that's fun. I guess there's going to be times where each of these different infill types are going to become useful. Okay, but that was interesting. So it looks like there are a number of different infill settings, and I'll just set it back to rectilinear. It looks like next up is automated seam hiding. Okay, well, let's take a look. So I've got the benchy up. We're going to prepare it for print. Wait, let's just make sure under layer, I'm going to turn off adaptive layers, and then I'm going to hit print or prepare to print. A lot of P's there. So I don't, where would a seam be? Where would a seam be? I know that you can get statistics here, and you can change it to current process. Let's see, layer height, active tool head, feature type. There we go. So is it not showing me where the seam is, I guess? Okay, so it's automated. I guess the seam is hidden. I don't know. I can't see it. Well, next up, look at that. Dynamic infill density. So what that's going to do is use less infill at the bottom and then gradually make more when you have some sort of bottom layer that needs to be built into a part. So let's go over here. I'm going to take off adaptive layer height and infill. Solid layers. Dense infill. Okay. So dense infill, let's do 3. And then I'm going to hit OK. So let's see what happens. So have a look right here. As it's being built up, that is a denser infill getting put in just before. Here's a good display of it. Just before that bottom layer goes in. So you've got the regular infill, which was, do I remember? Infill percentage of 10. So if we go back here, then we know that this is 10% infill, and then it starts to fill in, and I believe it was 50% right over the top. Okay, just like that. So that's a way of utilizing less infill, less material, and you still get to make a part with some overhangs or some bottom layers within the model that are up higher. So last but not least, in this little preview of Simplify3D version 5 is rapid bulk editing and the support stuff. Let's dive into that. Well, there we go. That looks kind of cool, right? Now we just need to generate some supports. So let's go click over here and generate automatic supports. Cool. Well, that looks like typical supports. I'm going to remove them all. Okay, so I can go in here and add an individual support. There we go. I can just add it just like that. Now I can remove individual ones where I click on them. Now what they've added is adding multiple supports. So I'm just going to hold down the mouse button. And I'm just adding supports as I go, just by holding down the button. And the same thing happens with remove multiple supports. You can just hold down the button and the supports go away. This obviously will come in handy if you want to utilize the support engine to create supports for something like a helmet. I can imagine Uncle Jesse doing this because he loves Simplify3D and he prints a lot of helmets. And so you can use the automatic generation or the multiple addition or the way to add multiple supports around the rim of the helmet. And then if it builds them in the center, you can remove them really easily or just not put them in if you're just going around the rim. That seems really handy. One of the things that Simplify3D was always really good about was the supports, and people loved the way you could do supports, and so this is a nice addition to see. Now, I haven't had a lot of time with Simplify3D just because I haven't used it. I haven't used it in a long time. What was the last version was Simplify3D version 4.1, I believe, and that was years ago. And since then, updates to Cura, Idea Maker has come out and had updates. Prusa Slicer, Super Slicer, Kirimoto. I mean, that's just it. There's so many free slicers out there that have all sorts of functionality. I just haven't used V4 in forever. So getting back into the swing of things when I had this opportunity to use V5, it was really difficult to get back into it. I had forgotten some things, and so it's been fun kind of learning and kind of getting into it. There is one change I want to show you, and that has to do with, let's see, the configuration assistant. Oh, failed to, okay. So in order to add profiles, you no longer get this list to pick from. You have to type in the 3D printer that you have. Profiles in V5, at least in my time when using it before it wasn't able to get them, they were kind of old. So the reason I was showing you on my Maker Gear M3 is because that was one of the machines that was in there. It did have the Prusa Mini. It has the Prusa up to Mark III. It was missing some of the machines that I have. I was about to show you, but apparently the night before release, which is when I'm recording this, the server's down. There is one thing I want to show you, and it was a bug that I found in the software. I have emailed Simplify3D, and they said they took care of it, and there's a newer download. So let's see. I did find a bug, and let's see if they did fix it. Right now, I've got this gift box from 3D Printing World up. Auto configure set to left extruder only. And if we go through, left extruder is on the layer. Left extruder is on the additions. Left extruder for the infill, left extruder for the support and the dense supports. I've got the left extruder enabled and the temperature controller set to 215. Everything is set to left extruder, just like this auto configure for extruders is. So I'm going to slice this, and I've got it set to active tool head, and you can see tool 0, the left extruder, is blue. Now, as I scroll through this, there's these weird blips of color. There it is. We caught it. Now that's green, and you can see over here green is the right extruder. It's tool 1. Okay, for some reason it's using tool 1 to do bridging. And there's another pop of color. So you can see it's using tool 1 to do the bridging. There's another color, tool 1 to do the bridging. And in fact, there's a failed print right down there. Let me grab it. I had a jam, and you can tell that this is red, but look at that's white, that's white. And if I flip it over, you can see white filament in there. So this should have been all red, but because of that bug, it started drawing filament from the other extruder, which happened to have a little bit of filament left in it, but that was it. That's the print failing. It ran out of filament, and that's unfortunate. Here's what I'm thinking. What I'm gonna do is download the new version of Simplify3D version 5, and we're going to slice this model, and we're going to see if that bug is actually fixed. This is the new version. I just downloaded it, I installed it, and if I go about, I've got 5.0. There are no minor versions. I just downloaded it. I said this is exactly what they said to do in the email. Let's prepare to print. We don't need supports. Here we go. Look at that. Remember, we originally had the green showing up over here for the other tool head, and then anytime it was doing that first bridging layer, it did it. And now it's not there. Fantastic. Okay, well, props to you, Simplify3D. Here's what's great. I had sent the email, I think it was yesterday, and today they told me it was fixed in the build. It's been really interesting diving into Simplify3D again. This is version 5. I'm a registered user. I used it for many years, and then I just let it sit by the wayside because it had stagnated, and version 5 was said to come out, but it's been years, if I remember right. So now my standards are like Idea Maker, Cura, Prusa Slicer, Bamboo Studio, all of those softwares that slice for 3D printing. Not only have they been updated over the years, they're absolutely free. I don't know. Is this too little too late? Has the boat sailed for Simplify3D? I'm not wowed. It's been years, and I'm just not wowed. I mean, I'll play around with this some more. I'd love to hear your comments about it because, I don't know, maybe the ship has sailed. Well, this is your look at Simplify3D version 5. I'm obviously going to play with this a whole lot more. I have it on my laptop. I have it on my desktop here. I want to slice all the things. I want to print all the things. I know that we're going to have to get some profiles in here for newer machines. We couldn't actually look at the profiles. We couldn't download anything from the server. The server wasn't responding. This is the night before release. Who knows what's going on? If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. But what do you think? Well, if you made it this far, you're awesome. Don't forget to hug each other more. Fight for cause you believe in. Stay caffeinated. And as always, high five.